Why is it so easy for narcissists to con us? I'm going to break it down in this video coming up. Hi, I'm Rebecca Zung. I am a lawyer. I'm a narcissist negotiation expert. And on this channel and in these videos, I give you lots and lots of tips and tricks and resources on how to powerfully shift the dynamic on narcissists so that you can turn the tables and actually finally feel powerful against narcissists. And if that's something that you want to do, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Okay, so I'm going to give you 5 reasons why it is so easy for narcissists to con us by the end of this video. So stay tuned for all 5. So number one is that people are wired to believe people. And in his book, Talking to Strangers, Malcolm Gladwell actually talked about this. He cited a book called Duped by Dr. Timothy Levine, and he talked about how we are actually wired to believe people. We're wired to listen to what people are saying and take people at face value. And if we didn't, then like society couldn't function. That, we wouldn't be able to have an interaction with people, like even just stopping to ask a stranger on the street, like for directions, or talking to somebody in the store and asking them what aisle to find the frozen foods or whatever. I mean, like literally, that's how society can function. We are set up and pre-wired to believe people. And so that is part of the reason why it is easy for narcissists to con us, because as a human race, as people, we are set up to believe people. We are pre-wired to believe people. So that's part of the reason that it is easy for them to con us, because that's how we are pre-wired and predestined. Okay, so part of it is, hey, that is us as a human race, and that doesn't make us bad people. It doesn't make any of us overly naive or anything like that. It just makes us human beings, and that's not necessarily a bad thing now, is it? Right? All right, so that's number one. Number two, it goes into more specifics about them as narcissists, and that is that they are really, really good at reading people. They know how to read you. They've been studying it for years and years and years, not necessarily you, but they have been studying how to read people for years and years and years. They know exactly how to get what they want from people. They know how to shift themselves, how to become that chameleon, to be exactly what they need to be you. They kind of mirror you. That's something that narcissists do. They kind of become you in a weird, freaky way. They study you, and they know exactly what to be for you. And that's all part of that love bombing stage, part of that beginning stage, to how to set themselves up to be perfect for you at that idealization phase in the beginning. So they do know how to read you. They study you in the beginning. And that's why in the beginning, you're like, wow, this person is so amazing. They're so incredible. They're so perfect. And that's why it is so easy for them to con us in the beginning as well. So that's reason number 2. Number 3 is they use just enough truth to make a lot of what they say plausible. So I'm going to use an example from Dirty John. So I don't know if you've seen Dirty John. It was a true story about a guy who conned a woman who lived in California. they were dating. It ended up being a podcast. It ended up being a movie. I think it was a mini series. I believe it ended up to be on Netflix, and you could certainly listen to the podcast version, but I won't give away the ending. It was pretty dramatic, but basically the guy comes along, he presents himself to be a doctor. And, he's wearing scrubs all the time, and he's like leaving for work, and he says he's a doctor. He says he's an anesthesiologist. And then he's extremely charming. He is good looking. And at some point, her daughter finds his diploma, and in fact, he's not a doctor. He's a nurse anesthetist. And he says, well, I am a doctor, but I'm a doctor of, anesthesia. My level of education is a doctorate. And so I am actually a doctor, even though I'm not a medical doctor. I have achieved that level of education. And so, this is what they do. They kind of like spin it around, and it's like just enough truth. And so it's like just enough to sort of seem plausible, or sort of, I kind of like, it's like a fish, like, it's just sort of like slips out of your hand. Like you think you got them, and then there they are, sliding out. So it's like just enough truth to sort of seem plausible. And this is like a favorite kind of a thing that covert narcs do, by the way. And I did a whole video on this, and it's called 7 Strange Behaviors of Covert Narcs, which you can definitely check out. And I really can't stand covert narcs because I had to deal with a couple of them in my own personal life. So you can definitely check that out if you'd like. So that's number 3. Number 4 is they use tricks like, oh, I forgot, or I didn't realize, or I meant to, or I was just about to, something like that. And so that makes it kind of easy for them to con us as well, because you kind of think, well, you start to give them the benefit of the doubt. You think, well, maybe they were just about to, or maybe they did mean to. And it's actually sort of a version of gaslighting. And so you start to think, well, maybe I'm the one who's just being, a little too harsh. Maybe I'm overzealous with this thing. You just start to, question yourself on this. And so they use these sort of tricks that make you sort of question your own mind. And if that sounds familiar, by the way, give me a totally in the comments. If any of this sounds familiar so far, give me a totally in the comments. So that's number 4. And number 5, the number 5 thing that they do that is one of the reasons why it makes it so easy for them to con us is one of the things that my father used to say all the time is, saying things with absolute confidence. And this is something that a lot of narcissists are really, really good at, especially, your straight narcissist, not necessarily your covert narcissist, but your grandiose narcissist. They say things with absolute confidence. And, my father used to say, whatever you say it with authority, and people will believe you. And they're really, really good at saying things with authority. And this is very, very effective, especially in negotiations, by the way. And it's not necessarily a bad thing in negotiations. This doesn't make it a bad thing. But that's why a lot of times it does make it easy for them to con us, because they say things unblinkingly, unfailingly. And so you believe them because they are saying it. Absolutely. I always think of the George Costanza, like, it's not a lie if you believe it, right? I mean, sometimes you wonder, do they actually believe their lies? So anyway, that is number 5. And if you are, by the way, getting ready to negotiate with narcissists or with anyone, make sure to grab my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet at winmynegotiation.com. And if you do want support, please feel free to join me in my free private Facebook group at Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. And I will drop links to both of those below. And if you like this video, give it a like, give it a share, drop me that comment, give me a totally in the comments if you've seen any of these or any others. I would love to know what other ways you've seen narcissists on you as well. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, feel free to do that now. Subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'm Rebecca Zung. I am so glad that you stopped by this channel, and I am so glad that you are here. And remember that today is a great day to start negotiating your best life, and I will see you in the next video.